Time now to play Canada's fastest growing game show. Which politician said it? And our first contestant is the one and only David Heurtel, former Quebec Liberal Cabinet Minister, counsel at Fasken, and political analyst extraordinaire over here at CJD. Hi, David.
Hey, Elias. I didn't know you were such a great singer. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That was quite the performance.
Hey, when's your birthday, David? When's your birthday?
It's July. You're probably going to be on vacation.
But still, I can still make a phone call. Okay, so David, I'm going to read you a quote. And then we'll play Canada's fastest growing game show. You'll tell us which politician said it, okay? So here we go. Here's the quote, okay? Here's the quote. Quote, "The country has grown at a rate far beyond what Canada has been able to absorb," okay? "Temporary immigration has caused so much pressure in our communities, and the number of immigrants in Canada needs to be brought under control." Who said it? Was it Maxime Bernier or Justin Trudeau?
It was Justin Trudeau.
My goodness. David, what's your take on that and the lines we heard from the Prime Minister yesterday?
Well, my take is that Justin Trudeau and his closest advisors have gotten the results of focus groups and internal polling, and they understand that if they have a snowball's chance in hell of more than a snowball's chance in hell to form the next government, they're going to have to talk about immigration. They're going to have to talk about housing. Mark Miller opened the door a couple of weeks ago, Elias. Remember when he said we have to bring down the number of temporary foreign workers from 6.4% to 5%. So this is all part of this massive rollout of pre-election strategy, as you said earlier, Elias. I mean, this is clearly Justin Trudeau trying to trot out the message to target those suburban white voters in the Toronto area, Vancouver area, and even in and around Montreal, to bring them back to the Liberals to try to rebuild that coalition. Remember, last two elections, Elias, Justin Trudeau was able to form a government with 33% of the national vote. So the latest nanos actually saying that he's closing, albeit it's a very small sample. It's a very small increase in the vote, but he is closing. I mean, Poilievre was at almost had 20% on the Liberals, and this last poll now, the Liberals have closed it down to 12. So something may be happening, but obviously it's going to be cost of living, housing, and immigration for Justin Trudeau up until the election in 25.
David, bear with me for a second here, because I want to talk about a TV show that I really like. It's on Netflix. It's called I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, okay? It's a sketch comedy show, and there's one sketch where this comedian, Tim Robinson, he's wearing a hot dog costume, and he's driving a hot dog truck, okay? Like the truck is a hot dog. And it gets into a crash. Everyone sees that there's been a crash. He ends up inside this house, and he's like, geez, who caused the crash, right? And he's wearing the hot dog outfit, right? Everyone knows who caused the crash. Everyone knows hot dog guy responsible for hot dog crash, right? And he's like, we have to find the person responsible. Do you think Canadians, despite, announcement here, announcement there, and he's going on every day, there's going to be announcements, will they be fooled and not realize who's responsible for the situation the country's in after being in power for 10 years?
Agreed, and there's going to be Trudeau fatigue. And we all know this. I mean, first of all, on immigration, while as you know, I'm totally for immigration, I mean, Trudeau had documents from his civil servants two and a half years ago saying you're going to need to build more housing, and he just didn't do it. So he was sleeping at the wheel. He is responsible in large part. He's not responsible for everything that has to do with inflation. But on the housing front, he did create most of the problem. So yes, but at the same time, you're going to see in the polling, is Trudeau unpopular? Yes, 50, 60, even 55% of Canadians will say they're going through Trudeau fatigue and they wanted to leave and everything else. But just like I just told you, if Justin Trudeau is able to get back to the low 30s in support, the way the Liberal vote is distributed, and remember, the closer we get to the election, he's also going to be targeting NDP voters, saying, "Hey, people, do you want a Poilievre government, or do you want to continue the way we have and get some gains, the way I gave some gains to the NDP over the last couple of years?" So, again, this is the path. I'm not saying it necessarily will be successful, but because of Trudeau fatigue. But ultimately, if a year and a half from now, the economy turns the corner, how the housing situation calms down, if the interest rates start coming down as projected, or during the second half of 24 and beginning of 25, well, then people will ultimately do what? Especially the Liberal and see the center-left NDP Liberal swing voters in those key suburban ridings. What are they going to look at? They're going to look at their pocketbook. Mm-hmm. If it looks better, they might not want to go on the far right or the perceived far right, because again, once the election campaign starts, you're going to see some horrible attacks painting Poilievre as a far-right extremist.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, David, let's talk about dollars for a second here. Today, it's $15 million for 30,000 apartments, and apparently it's going to be every day except for a couple that there will be a major announcement ahead of the April 16th budget.
Sure.
Can the Liberal Party spend their way out of the polling funk?
It's worked before. His dad did it. Jean Chrétien did it. And that's the one great thing about being the Prime Minister of Canada. You have this amazing weapon called federal spending power, which has always been the go-to when everything else fails. I'm just stunned about how politics has changed, Elias. You may be too young to remember this, but there was a time where anything that leaked from a budget, the finance minister had to resign.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, now.
Now it's a feature. Now, this
is like, here we go. We're rolling out and making all these announcements. Communications-wise, it's a great strategy, but it just shows how it's changed. I mean, the thing is that it puts unpopular provincial governments on the defensive because, yes, it is an intrusion on provincial jurisdictions for sure, Elias. But when you're an average Canadian, an average Quebecer, do you care about whose jurisdiction it is as long as somebody's doing something about what you feel is important about kitchen table issues? So the thing is that Legault, Doug Ford in Ontario, everybody across Canada is going to have to answer and say, hey, here we have the feds putting some real money to build housing, to lower the cost of affordable housing. Why are you not just saying yes and matching the dollars and getting this thing off the ground? So this is an effective weapon because it's worked in the past. So it's worked in healthcare. It's worked in other fields before. So, I mean, right now, this could be an effective strategy for Justin Trudeau. And it also takes something off the board for Poilievre because, the language is a bit different. But, when Poilievre said, you know what, I'm gonna keep money from the municipalities and the gatekeepers if they don't do effective work on housing. Well, what is Trudeau proposing? Basically the same thing. It's just different language.
Which is why
he's taking the issue away from Poilievre too.
Which is why it's always so dangerous for an opposition party to release their ideas anytime other than an election campaign. Hey, David, let's quickly on this. When you were with the Quebec Liberals, when the federal government would stomp all over your jurisdiction, how would that make you feel?
Oh, it happened to me on climate change and the environment. So you would come out and you would defend and you'd play the nationalist card and then, you'd use it in negotiations. We did it with the asylum seekers, with the crisis back in 2017, 18 when I was immigration minister. So, and in the environment as well when I was the environment minister. What you do is use it as a card in the ongoing negotiations, but then ultimately it's the Premier's office that decides where the give and take and the horse trading happens.
David, got to leave it there. Always fabulous talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Good to be with you, Elias.